This is the world that you know.
Horror films and psycho thrillers like Companion, Better Watch Out, Blink Twice, and Don't Worry Darling have spotlighted the manosphere. It feels like fresh fodder colliding with a mainstream breakthrough of incel ideology.
If your good friend, again, opened up to you and were like, do you like me? She's given you all of the runway. Why would you not just go,
you're not
no
a
matter
straight man. You are not an incel.
Women have been a little bit more aware about how little the patriarchy cares about them and how it's woven into everyday things. The red pill movement has made some men more aggressive in their misogyny, and women have become a little bit more vigilant and more aware.
There's a whole other side of the internet that I was less familiar with, who are bare sympathizers or apologists. And that concerns me.
Gaps, like your autonomy being slowly taken away by someone who insists the whole time that they love you. Nikki's possession is an extreme nightmare version of what it actually feels like to be these women in these stories. To be Rachel having her career sabotaged because Ross loves her. To be Robin for having a man continue not to take no for an answer. To every woman in every film whose life gets made smaller by a man who is absolutely certain that how he feels justifies it.
I found myself watching Obsession and cringing so severely at Bear. Not because it is just cringy, absolutely, but because I have seen a man behave that exact same way towards me. And I know I'm not the only woman who had that experience in the theater. He was a nice guy who I should give a chance to. I was his friend and he was in love with me. Dare I say, obsessed. I owed it to him to give myself up on a silver platter. He deserved me as if I was like promised in religious text, okay? Being in a similar situation as Nikki, friends were egging on that I should give him a chance, telling me that no one will treat me as good as he will. I did feel a lot of pressure to give in. But when those feelings were not reciprocated from me, I ended up losing a very long-term friend. Not because we had a fight, we never had a falling out, but simply because I was no longer of any use or service to him anymore. And I had to find out the hard way that our friendship all these years was not actually a friendship, and unless I was becoming his literal freaky Nikki, I was irrelevant. And at the time, that hurt me so immensely. Knowing that in my life I've had several friendships with men where I am essentially useless if I am not in love with them, and our platonic friendship and connection didn't actually mean anything.
Yep, good evening, it's Gray Matter. I'm back to open your eyes to some real shit that's actually going on out here. I'm really sick and tired of this shit, man. Every time I get online and I want to speak on something real, it's always some simp enforcer coming out the fucking woodworks, trying to keep me from telling you what's really going on out here. They want this narrative that men are just all rapists, all evil, all we do is hate women. They swear up and down that the nice guy is really a bad guy in disguise while they simultaneously date the worst dudes you could think of, and then some of them even end up dead because of it. They completely flip shit on his head. Let's just be blunt with what's really going on. It's dog whistling. They just want what they want, and they're really good at manipulating shit. It's just that fucking simple. I'm not finna sit here and cater to every single female review about Obsession and listen to them plead to the world that anybody that struggled with asking a girl out or anybody that has been socially awkward was really just putting on a front just so they can get in the chick's drawers. I don't give a damn at this point. You can believe what it is that you want to believe, but I'm gonna show you. Oh damn, dropping shit. Excuse me. I'm gonna show you what's really going on out here. All right, when they was talking about Obsession, right? They were telling us that the movie was about female autonomy. You had the girls tell you straight to your face that if the dudes had a wishing willow, they'd be screwed. Meanwhile, we have men being forced into fatherhood by women who are artificially inseminating themselves with the guy's seed against his consent, against his will. You don't believe me? See this shit.
It's perfectly legal for a woman to go into the trash, take the discarded condom and use the contents therein to impregnate herself. The man has no say whatsoever in that situation. She can legally force him into paternity, force him into parenthood, and oh, by the way, reap considerable financial benefits along the way. That process, along with other things that women do to force parenthood on men, say things like tampering with the condoms, as in poking holes in them, or lying about her being on birth control, or even, how do I put this? Let's call it extracting fluid from a man when he's in a coma, drunk, or unconscious, is not only perfectly legal, but has a not-so-quaint term applied to it: sperm jacking. In all of those situations and those cases, the law as written and in practice supports the woman, supports the crime, as it were, and no one bats an eye. You certainly aren't going to hear feminists bringing it up in their reproductive right arguments. You certainly aren't going to hear politicians or the media talking about it. Truth is, you aren't going to hear anyone talking about it. Why? Because it's fully condoned, fully supported. Hell, I'll even argue fully encouraged. It speaks to the complete and utter hypocrisy of the entire pro-choice argument. But there's an even more egregious example that was recently in the news. So a South Korean actress, one Lee Si-young, just bragged, admitted to using her ex-husband's sperm to get pregnant via IVF without his consent. Let me say that again. She willfully, knowingly, and deliberately used sperm from a man that she had divorced well after they'd split up and without his permission, and is now carrying a child. His child, one she expects him to support. So safe did she feel in doing it, so proud in fact that she did it, that she took to Instagram to brag about it in a now deleted post. And while, yes, some people have called her out for her despicable act, there are plenty who are cheering her on and supporting her for doing it. It speaks to just how accepted and condoned the practice is worldwide, legally, morally, and ethically. It speaks to how women have no problem taking to social media to brag about denying the man the right to choose, the right to decide if he wants to be a parent or not. Fact is, in my opinion, this is a form of rape, plain and simple, and why it's the worst double standard that exists. Though, of course, again, you're never going to hear it called that, and it sure as hell isn't going to show up in any of the statistics. You know, the statistics that feminists love to go on and on about to paint men as awful, misogynistic, and downright dangerous. What this really is a beautiful example of the absolute double standard and hypocrisy that exists when it comes to the entire reproductive rights argument. A double standard that ignores the man that is the victim. A victim who will suffer mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and yes, financially for the rest of his life.
These are issues that no one talk about. We talk about men being rapists and secretly creepy. We talk about men being gooners. But then when women are being gooners and women are being creepy, women are raping children and doing some fuck shit behind the scenes, that shit gets hidden. No one talks about that shit. We don't talk about when women get violent with their men.
If you're a feminist, a simp, or someone who lacks common sense, scroll along. I ain't playing. This one's not for you.
Why are boys fighting girls? Since when are boys hitting girls? It's because y'all bitch asses are telling y'all sons to hit the girls back.
Imagine that. Well, how about this? Or this. Now look the way she's pumping her fists like, you know, she's ready for a fight. Imagine that.
We don't talk about when a chick is trying to control the guy. She doesn't really love the guy. She just wants to like turn him into this ideal of what she believes a man should be. No one talks about that shit. But best believe we gonna come jump on those nice guys and we gonna demonize them for being put in the friend zone, right? Even though most of those dudes, after a while, they finally grew a pair and just left. They just dipped out. They said, okay, you don't like me. That's cool. You have a great day. I'ma head out and find somebody else. I'ma go where I'm loved. That's why the passport bro movement exists. That's why a lot of the chicks that had the guy in the friend zone are still single. A lot of them are. And the guy that they had in the back burner, the guy that they were playing games with, he didn't moved on, got married, and had kids. Or he bettered himself somehow. I've seen women get on here and try to say that the red pill enabled men to become more aggressive with their misogyny. And then they even went as far as to say that the movie Obsession was the red pill meeting horror films, which is absurd. I'm not even gonna lie. Bear is the most blue-pilled motherfucker you can find out here. I'm not even joking. Anybody that's red-pilled going through that situation wouldn't even waste their fucking time with that woman. Oh, you're giving me mixed signals? You're mocking me to my face? You don't even view me as a man? Word? You're fucking my best friend? Okay. If Bear was red pill, he would have started talking to Sarah. He would have hit the gym. He would have tried to get himself some more money. He probably would have traveled somewhere. He wouldn't be crying over Nikki if he really was red pilled. But that's the problem. They take the shit that they don't like. They try to find the worst image of what they believe that to be, and they want to project that onto the group that they don't like, so that they can invalidate everything that that group is saying and doing. I was watching a guy not too long ago. He was talking about MAGA and red pill, and he was essentially saying that the bottom of the barrel guys, because they're getting rejected so much, they become MAGA and they become red pill. Even though we have a lot of MAGA and red pill dudes that are rich, that do get a lot of women. Hell, Elon Musk, with all the baby mamas that he got, he's literally working with President Trump. He's still sharing his tweets. He's the richest man in the world. But only the bottom of the barrel guys are red pill and MAGA. They're the ones marching in the streets. Like, bro, shut the fuck up, man. And it's like, well, what does this all had to do with the movie? It's the way that people treat the movie. It's the way that people take this movie and straw man every man on earth using Bear, the character. They want to paint this picture of us being weak, of us being docile, of us being predators, while simultaneously ignoring the shit that women do.
I just need a man in my life that just wants to be a man in my life. Just a man. Not my man. No benefits, no sugar, no nothing. You just want to be a man in my life. For what? So I can call you when I need air in my tires, which I've been needing for weeks. So I can call you when I need my car cleaned. My door is creaking in my house, so I can call you. Can you fix that for me, please? Can you bring this heavy ass cat litter upstairs, please? A man I can depend on without you wanting to be my man. Because quite frankly, I'm good off of y'all.
You speak on it, here come the simp enforcers. Dudes that get their eyelashes done and shit. Men that really don't want you talking about the negative behaviors of women because it reminds them of their mama. It reminds them of their sisters, their aunties. They seen that behavior in them. They just ignored it. They were too scared to talk about it because they scary asses got checked by those women. Let me tell you something real fast before I get into this review that really isn't a review. It's just a woman. It's proof of toxic femininity. I'm just going to be honest here. Before I get into this shit, I'm just going to explain to you this last thing. Women aren't really as afraid of us as they say that they are. If they really was as scared as they are of us, they wouldn't be so damn comfortable with the shit that they do to us. It's that damn simple. When she says that you're a creep and she felt unsafe, it just really means she was unattracted to you. The nice guy is just paying one giant ass ugly tax. That's what it is. You're ugly, you're unattractive, you don't make the pussy purr. So because of that, she's going to make you suffer for even bothering to speak with her. It is that simple. In her mind, just being in her presence is doing you a favor, not her. And they will tell you that shit. You just got to pay attention. This video is something that I needed y'all to see, assuming you're not subscribed to Manosphere Highlight Daily. You gotta see this. You really need to see this.
So this is literally how the video starts.
Warning, this video is an attempt at a good faith nuanced look at the fictional movie Obsession and the characters therein, which will probably upset some of you for some reason.
Immediately I'm pissed. You know that saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it? Well, in
She got pissed because she got called out. These are the type of people who's going to upset.
this case, it's what he says and how he says it. Like, tone will continue to be a problem.
How much proof do you need? If you came here looking for a video that exposes toxic femininity, stop scrolling. Oh my goodness. This is toxic femininity in full effect, and she doesn't even seem to know she's doing it. You've seen our breakdown of Alex Meyer's Obsession review. We laid out clip by clip why this man does not deserve to be called a rapist and does not deserve to be called a misogynist. So how does someone arrive at the opposite conclusion? We've got the perfect example, not just any example, a content creator with 250,000 subscribers whose reaction video pulled over 400,000 views. The title alone tells you where this is going. Obsession is exposing the misogynists and Alex Myers. Apparently, she's going to expose something in this video, just not what the title promises. Now, gentlemen, a warning of our own. The real toxicity, the part that's going to make your jaw drop, is in the second half of this video. But if you skip ahead, you're going to miss why it matters. We need you to see the full pattern built, piece by piece, from the very first clip to the last, or the ending won't hit the way it's supposed to. Watch this one start to finish. One more thing before we start. Watch her body language while she plays his clips. You're gonna learn something before she says a single word. Let's get in.
And keep in mind, she doesn't even play everything. You're gonna see that later.
Into it.
Ain't that a man?
His Obsession video was the only video that I've actually watched in full, and my god, was it quite the introduction to his channel. So this is literally how the video starts.
Warning, this video is an attempt at a good faith nuanced look at the fictional movie Obsession and the characters therein, which will probably upset some of you for some reason.
Immediately I'm pissed. You know that saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it? Well, in this case, it's what he says and how he says it. Like, tone will continue to be a problem.
And before he's made a single argument, before the disclaimer even finishes, she's already told her audience how to feel about him.
Immediately I'm pissed.
Zero context on this man. Zero prior videos watched. 6 seconds into his disclaimer. Verdict reached.
But
Yeah, because she got called out immediately.
here's the thing that really gets me, and here's the thing that I really want to rant about. The main argument of Alex's video is so fucking stupid that I genuinely do not understand what the point of it is. I don't understand why this was the hill that he was willing to die on. I kid you not, his argument literally was that Bear didn't do anything wrong until he did. That was literally like the thesis of his video that he talked about for like a good, like maybe a third of his video. Like, it was not an insignificant amount. Obviously this had everybody wondering, hey, so what? Like, why did Alex feel the need to ride so hard for Bear? Literally nobody wanted or needed that.
In other words, Alex made an argument, and it's not one she wanted to hear. Notice what doesn't happen here. She doesn't explain what's wrong with the argument. She tells you it's stupid, tells you nobody needed it, and moves on. That's not a rebuttal. That's a dismissal wearing a rebuttal's clothes.
Exactly. Y'all just dismiss arguments. You don't explain shit at all.
Want you to see how prevalent these bear defending sentiments and these potentially misogynistic sentiments were throughout his video.
Okay, so jokes aside, up until this point, Bear was just a dude with a crush on a girl that he was too scared to talk to. Okay, a story of my life.
Take a shot every time Alex says at this point in the movie. So let me give you a little analogy. Like if you were watching a documentary of a famous killer and every 5 seconds as the narrator is describing the moments leading up to the murder, they go, well, as a reminder, at this point, at this very moment in time, they're pretty chill and haven't killed anyone yet. Would that not be odd and redundant? Because you and I both know that in the very near future, they do go on to kill someone. What's the point of repeatedly emphasizing that they haven't done anything wrong yet, when we know that they do commit heinous crimes literally so soon after this moment?
The foolishness. She mocks his timeline disclaimers.
Take a shot every time Alex says at this point in the movie.
Then reaches for a serial killer documentary analogy to make her point. It doesn't work. And it doesn't work for a very specific reason. Motive. A documentary that shows you who someone was before they killed isn't being redundant. That's the entire point of the genre. You track the person to understand what changed and why. She picked the one analogy that exactly proves Alex is doing exactly what good storytelling is supposed to do. Now here's the clip about body language we told you to watch closely at the top of this video. Forget what she's saying for a second. Watch her face.
Obviously, things get different later on, but at least up to this point, Bear has like no idea that the wishing willow worked. And again, to his credit, the very next day he immediately tells Ian that he thinks something's wrong with Nikki. Like he seems genuinely concerned. That night, Ian apparently talked to Nikki, and she said that she was on some drugs or whatever. And so maybe that explains why she was acting so erratic, you know, like when she and Bear kissed earlier. So at this point, Bear thinks that Nikki was acting weird, kissed him, freaked out, etc. because she was on drugs, right? So again, to him, in this moment, it all seems totally above board.
Even though Bear isn't aware of the One Wish Willow being real at this point, I think the thing that Alex is missing is that Bear's actions are still plenty worthy of critique. Bear knew that something was up with Nikki, but he had no problem passively accepting her physical advances and overall being like complacent in the matter. Like that's the biggest issue here. Like that's literally the commentary of Obsession.
She clearly didn't watch the movie, but we did. Here's what missing the point actually leaves out.
I didn't know you were on drugs.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that.
Not saying what?
You took advantage of me.
I don't think I didn't.
I know, that's why I'm saying you didn't.
Okay, good.
How much proof do you need? That's not Bear rationalizing.
Damn. But he's a rapist. Men who sympathize at the beginning of the movie with Bear is a rapist. They're all misogynists.
To himself in his own head. That's the other person in this relationship, on screen, in dialogue, directly telling him he did nothing wrong, and then telling him her feelings are real.
Why do you like me?
Would it freak you out if I said yes?
To be clear about what we know that Bear doesn't, we, the audience, eventually learn this isn't fully Nikki talking. Something else is influencing her. Bear doesn't have access to that information here. All he has is a girl he's genuinely in love with.
Do you have feelings for me?
Looking him in the eye, clearing him of wrongdoing, and telling him she's felt this way since Christmas.
How long have you felt that way?
It's just happened over time. Started during Christmas.
That's not worthy of critique, but Alex is missing it. That's a scene Amanda's own video never shows you. The one moment in the film that most directly explains why Bear believed what he believed. Hold on to that phrase anyway. Not because the critique holds up, because of what happens to it next.
Like, he didn't wish that she would do whatever he wanted, or I wish that she would become obsessed with me and me only. He specifically wished that Nikki would love him more than anyone, which is literally what everyone who's ever had a crush wants. Like, every single fanfic about, like, golly gee, I sure wish One Direction would kidnap me and fall in love with me all at the same time. Like, as if half the girls who saw this movie haven't wished the exact same thing before.
Alex's whole line of reasoning on Bear's behalf is exactly the problem that Obsession is trying to point out.
No. He called y'all out. That's what's going on right now. Y'all hate when people go against the grain. It's not what you want to hear, but it is the truth. And y'all hate the truth.
Like, being complacent in a situation that you know is wrong is still taking advantage of the situation. Like, you don't need to be overtly aggressive or overtly manipulative or overtly anything. Even if you're doing it passively, it's still wrong. And refusing to acknowledge or take responsibility for that is straight up awful. Also, saying that Bear refused to take advantage of Nikki when the opportunity was originally presented to him is crazy, knowing full well that Bear did go on to rape her. That's so genuinely bizarre to me.
Did you catch what just happened? Not because she disagreed with Alex, because she quietly changed the question. Remember when she seated in Act 1? Bear's actions being worthy of critique. Watch how that grows here. Alex spends the beginning of his review asking one thing: who was Bear before the wish? Amanda answers a completely different question: did Bear behave correctly after the wish? Those are not the same conversation, and Alex was never disputing the second one. He agreed.
They don't care who he was before the fact. They only care about the thing that he did wrong. Like, this is what happens to a lot of men, like, for real. In real life, they only care about what you did wrong, and that one thing that you did wrong, whatever it is what they identify you by. That's who you are forever. Let's continue.
Bear fails Nikki after the wish. That was never the disagreement. The disagreement is whether Bear starts the story as a predator, or whether the tragedy is an ordinary guy slowly becoming complicit in something monstrous. Two completely different readings. She treats them as if they're the same claim. And
let's go back so y'all can hear that again.
Disputing the second one. He agrees Bear fails Nikki after the wish. That was never the disagreement. The disagreement is whether Bear starts the story as a predator, or whether the tragedy is an ordinary guy slowly becoming complicit in something monstrous. Two completely different readings. She treats them as if they're the same claim and rebuts one by answering the other. It gets worse.
It is true that Bear didn't purposefully strip Nikki's autonomy when he initially made the wish. Of course, he had no idea that was going to happen. But the entire point.
Okay, so why is it that everybody's acting like that's exactly what he did? Like, he purposefully tried to take her autonomy. This goes back to what I was just saying. The one mistake becomes your identity. He didn't even know what the hell the wishing willow was really going to do. He didn't even know that Nikki was possessed, or wish Nikki, or whatever y'all want to call it. He had no idea for that for a majority of the damn movie. And then the whole time you have wish Nikki, who he doesn't know is possessed, reassuring him. And that's the part that no one's talking about. You just jump straight to, he already knew, he raped her, he's the villain. That's exactly what y'all did.
Point of the movie is that after,
and keep in mind, no one said that Bear was a good dude either. Still,
that initial moment when he made the wish, Bear fumbled the multiple opportunities that came his way to actually do the right thing for Nikki, and was not proactive in the slightest about trying to change her situation until he started to become negatively impacted in a major way.
Oh my God.
It's when the negativity started that he realized something was wrong. All right.
Goodness. Not a point, not one team, not one interpretation. The entire point. That's a remarkable level of certainty for a film that spends its opening building something very specific. Before any wish, before anything supernatural, before Nikki loses a shred of autonomy. Bear is awkward, nervous, rehearsing a confession, trying to tell a girl he genuinely likes how he feels. The movie doesn't stumble into that. It builds it on purpose, because the horror only works if the audience believes his feelings were real first. Take that away, and there's no tragedy left, just a villain. A film can criticize Bear's choices after the wish and explore what happens when real affection gets corrupted by power at the same time. Those ideas don't compete, they reinforce each other. But the second you crown one of them, the entire point, the other one has to disappear. And that's the pattern running through this whole reaction. Every time Alex points to another layer, she doesn't argue with it. She erases it, then treats him as the unreasonable one for noticing it was never there. The foolishness.
But remember, his wish was not that Nikki would become obsessed with him. He wished that she would love him. So why isn't her love for him as selfless as you're claiming that his love for her should be? You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not saying Nikki's the bad guy or Bear is some like blameless victim or whatever. I'm just saying there's many ways you could look at this movie.
Is there though?
What do you mean, is there though?
They don't want to look at the movie any other way. They don't. And keep in mind, the way they see Bear is the way they're seeing a lot of men right now. That did like seeing how they treating Alex Myers right now. Like really see this shit.
You can always look at a movie from different ways. What are you talking about?
Nikki's love for Bear isn't selfless or pure because it's not Nikki. Again, that's literally the whole point. Whenever Alex is like arguing with somebody online that seems to have a different opinion than him, it's always a woman. These women that are being so emotional and projecting their things onto this movie and, you know, not having real honest conversations about it in good faith and are being so hypocritical. Is it crazy to say that these examples that he's giving have an underlying animosity against women?
How do you
see? And there we go again. When you call out bullshit, automatically it means you just hate women. When you're clearly not having a good faith conversation and you are projecting onto men your feelings based off this fucking movie. Well, let's go back so we can hear what this man has to say.
Faith and are being so hypocritical. Is it crazy to say that these examples that he's giving have an underlying animosity against women?
How do you know? You clearly stated you didn't watch his videos.
His obsession video was the only video that I've actually watched in full, and my god, was it quite the introduction to his channel.
How much proof do you need? Notice what just happened. Every disagreement Alex has ever had with anyone gets sorted into one category: hatred of women. Not he disagreed with this person. Not this person happened to be wrong. Animosity. That's not an argument. That's a diagnosis she's handing out for free.
Now again, I need to be very clear here, okay? Ultimately, Bear is the bad guy. He doesn't know what he did until late in the movie, but when he figures it out, he just keeps on rationalizing to himself because, like, he wants Nikki, and he doesn't seem to really care that she's being tortured the whole time, but rather he wants the demon to just act like Nikki so that he can pretend that he's actually dating Nikki, you know? Like, this is a bad dude. Yes, absolutely. Nikki is completely innocent. Her life is forever ruined because of some depressed, selfish loser guy, okay? Yes, like that's the outcome of the movie. But how we get to that point, I think, is a lot more nuanced than a lot of you were giving the movie credit for.
You're just straight up gaslighting me. Just because you say that Bear is the villain at like a couple points in your video doesn't negate the sentiment of your video as a whole.
Gaslighting. That word means something specific. It means deliberately manipulating someone into doubting their own sanity, their own memory, their own perception of reality. It is one of the most serious accusations you can level at another person. Someone suggested a movie might have more than one layer to it. That's the gaslighting. If disagreement is gaslighting and nuance is animosity, there is no version of engaging in good faith that could ever satisfy her, because the words themselves have stopped meaning anything specific. They've just become louder ways of saying, I don't like what you said. Now watch what happens next, because this is where she unknowingly proves our point herself. Okay, gentlemen, here is where it gets really toxic. Everything up to this point could, generously, be called sloppy analysis, missed context, overreach, a subject quietly switched. What happens next isn't that.
And then this last clip, I saved until the end, even though it was one of the clips from the beginning of his video, because It was one of the ones that disturbed me the most, and so this is when Alex was first introducing Nikki as a character.
So here we get a look at who Nikki is. And she seems like she's kind of one of those girls who's like those like ball buster types, you know? And she's always like, ha, bitch can't handle all this. I've never met a guy who can keep up with me. And then they just lay there like SpongeBob.
I mean, to make a joke about how she's the type of girl to just like lie there when there was a rape scene that you didn't even mention in which like I'm truly at a loss for words.
Pause right there. Listen to what she just told you she did.
And then this last clip, I saved until the end, even though it was one of the clips from the beginning of his video.
I've saved this until the end, even though it was one of the clips from the beginning of his video. That's not something Alex did. That's something she did. She pulled a clip out of where it actually sits in his video and moved it on purpose by her own admission, because relocating it next to her discussion of the grape scene hit harder than where it actually appears. That's not analysis. That's editing for effect. And once you've
taking things out of context to create a narrative. Where have I seen that before?
seen her do it once, admittedly on camera, you have to ask, what else got moved? Toxic! Full stop.
So if you can believe it, this video received tons of backlash immediately. So seeing the response, Alex doubled down in the comment section with his own pinned comment, which says, "Unfortunately, some of you are doing the very thing I talked about in the video. You are only seeing and hearing what you want out of my video, instead of actually listening to what I am saying. As I say multiple times in the video, Bear is bad. He does bad things. He is a villain. My video was in reaction to people saying that he is some kind of evil incel from the beginning. I wanted to look at how he goes from just a normal dude into the villain. I say in the video that after he realizes the wish worked, he goes on to be the bad guy and gets worse and worse."
She read that, word for word, his own clarification, in his own words. Now pay attention to how she is about to expose why this space keeps growing.
I'm so sorry, it's future Amanda here. I have to interject. There is insightful commentary and analysis to be made on Bear's progression throughout the movie, but that's literally not what was going on here. Basically, Alex was like, okay, wait, he's not bad yet, he's not bad yet, he's not bad yet. Okay, wait, nope, now, that's the moment. He's bad now. So stupid.
Watch the cut. Future Amanda here. I have to interject. On the other side of that cut, she's not quoting him anymore. She's doing an impression of him, a version he never actually said anywhere in that video, and reacting to the impression like it's real. She read the truth. Then she performed a lie.
Basically, Alex was like, okay, wait, he's not bad yet, he's not bad yet, he's not bad yet. Okay, wait, nope, now, that's the moment. He's bad now. So stupid.
Then she called the lie stupid. Gentlemen, this is toxic femininity in real time. We're not interpreting it. She's showing it to you.
So then Alex made an apology video, which wasn't even that much of an apology, low-key quadrupling down in some cases. His original obsession video and then the apology video have since been deleted, but here is a look at parts of his apology video.
This is the part of this breakdown we almost didn't catch. Alex's original apology video is gone now. He took it down himself, which means the only version most people will ever see is whatever Amanda chose to show them. Here's how Alex's real apology actually starts. Not her clip of it, his actual words from the actual video.
So, a lot's happened. I wanted to make this video because at first it was just hate on the video for Obsession, and that's fine. You can hate on it if you want. You can disagree, that's totally fine. But it has, in the past couple of days, it's devolved into personal attacks, and it's gotten to a level that I can foresee getting kind of dangerous. Some of the things some of you are doing and saying is it's gone beyond just the video, and now it's become rather serious.
Let that sit for a second. A man just told his audience he's scared. Now watch what she does with it. Here's how Amanda's video presents that same apology to her 400,000 viewers.
His original obsession video and then the apology video have since been deleted, but here is a look at parts of his apology video.
So first of all, I'm sorry if...
Immediately no. Immediately no. Wrap it up. We cannot be starting this apology with an "I'm sorry if."
I'm sorry.
That's her actual opening. Alex's actual opening, the part where he says he's scared this could get dangerous, isn't in there. It's gone. What she shows instead is the second sentence, mocked, framed as if it's the first thing he said. He said dangerous. She said wrap it up.
I'm sorry if...
Immediately no. Immediately no. Wrap it up. We cannot be starting this apology with an I'm sorry if.
I'm sorry.
Bro, they don't give a fuck. And clearly this man is being attacked over some stupid shit, over a damn movie. Like, excuse me. I don't think I need to talk about this anymore. I really don't. Because he essentially isn't thinking like a fucking feminist, he has to be attacked. That's the bullshit in all of this.
That's not an accident of editing. That's a choice. That's once. It happens again. Later in the real apology, right before Alex clarifies his divorce, he says this.
It was made in good faith. I knew people would disagree, but as I said at the beginning of this video, it's gotten to the point where it's not just disagreeing about my thoughts on the movie, but now it's gotten to a point where people are spreading complete lies about me. And from the DMs I'm getting and from what I've seen, it's getting to a point where it could become like very real.
That line, a person saying the backlash is escalating into something that could become very real.
Please don't tell me he's getting like death threats over this shit, is he? I hope not.
Isn't in Amanda's video either. What is in her video immediately after skipping it?
I do respect women. I do not think women deserve to be raped. Apparently, I need to say this very clearly. So, that is my thoughts on the topic.
You probably should have not looked at the notes app in order to say those things.
A man said twice in a 4-minute apology that he was afraid this was becoming genuinely dangerous. Both times, in a reaction video built around holding him accountable, that fear didn't make the cut. What did make the cut was a joke about him reading from his notes app. Twice, not once. Twice! This is not carelessness anymore, gentlemen. This is toxic, and it's on tape. That's not a missed detail. That's 2 missed details in the same direction, in the same video, about the one thing in this entire story that should have mattered most.
Yeah, they're building a false narrative about this man. Like, and they do this to every dude that, once again, doesn't follow the feminist programming. They actually look at shit for what it is. Like, hey, some don't seem right. Let me call this out. If it paints women in a bad light, they coming for your ass. I'm telling you.
This doesn't convince you what toxic femininity actually looks like, nothing will.
Those are all things that are incredibly concerning because they have real life consequences every single day. And you say that you understand that, but again, that's very much not the sentiment that I got from your initial review, from your pinned comment, from your Instagram post, from your apology video. Multiple times to prove to me otherwise, and I'm still left feeling like you don't get it and feeling very concerned about that.
4 attempts at resolution. His original disclaimer, his pinned comment, an Instagram story, a full apology video, and her verdict is still, I'm still left feeling like you don't get it.
Because she already had her mind made up before she even made the damn video to begin with. Look, like I was saying, because of this movie, they're projecting Bear's negative deeds onto every single man. They want to turn every man into a damn rapist and misogynist, and then they start attacking that man. They start making false narratives about that man. They start sending death threats and talking crazy and greasy to him in the comment section and shit. And we're supposed to act like none of that is going on. We're not supposed to talk about that. We want to highlight anything negative that we can on a man, but then when we call women out for doing the exact same shit, it gets brushed under the rug and other people come attacking him for it. It's getting ridiculous, man. Like at this point, and this is mostly why men are checking out. This is mostly why dudes are starting to just say fuck it. It's because shit like this. Especially after what I showed you in the first half of this video. Yeah. I'm done, bro. I'm done.